Hello and welcome in. So, today we will be going over your next journey, what your next adventure looks like. So, we are using my Lord of the Rings tarot cards. I figure for each group we could, what better thing to use than rings? um, and yeah, and I do have my Lord of the Rings art book here for you in the background, Gandalf. If you'd be interested in ever doing like a flip through of all of this, but yeah, we can go ahead, put this back here, watch over us through our journey together. So we have three different groups. Feel free to pick one, pick two if they're both calling towards you. Some of them were similar messages. There were a few that I would say are pretty different, but obviously always takes what resonates with you. So here we have, do this, group one. We have group two. And we have group three's ring. So we got some charms for these groups as well. And in some of the groups I kept saying trip, as in this journey is going to be a trip. Maybe for some of you it will be, but just kind of replace trip with journey or adventure because sometimes I said it a lot. Sorry about that. But yeah, go ahead and pick group one, group two, group three. I'll have the timestamps below. And let's begin. All right, so if you chose a group one or the ring with the pearl, then this reading is yours. So let's see what tarot cards we have. So for group one, you have Page of Rings or Page of Pentacles. You have a Nine of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Two of Swords. Okay, so for your upcoming journey, I definitely see that you're ready for this adventure now, that this isn't something too far off into the future. I think that now is a time, I do think you might be feeling a little depleted at the moment, potentially needing this adventure almost, if that makes sense. Like I think almost like a tank of gas and you're running close to E. So now's the time where you're like, all right, like this needs to happen. I'm excited for this next adventure that's coming your way. And I do think that it's going to bring happiness. It's going to refill that tank. And I think that more than anything, yeah, I think that this trip is going to be focused on just being happy, bringing back some joy, doing something that you either maybe haven't done before, or you haven't traveled to this area, or gone on this journey yet, but it's something that you've been looking forward to, or something that along the way you're like, oh yeah, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. That's the saying for you that I'm getting from this. And I do think that you're going to have someone along with you, maybe on your adventure you have a guide, whether it is someone who, like a local from a place that you go to visit, that is there to give you some suggestions on things to do, or someone, maybe a literal tour guide that you have that really helps you along this journey. Potentially you have just another person with you that brings along good advice. Because I do think too with this, and it could be maybe along the journey you feel a little unsure, or even taking this adventure yourself, to start, you might be feeling a little like, well, I have, maybe it's two thoughts, or just kind of, I'm getting almost being, knowing what you need to do, but still doubting yourself. And so I do think that maybe that's where this Queen of Cups energy is also coming in that potentially you'll have someone there along with you to guide you into this journey, along with this journey, and make sure that you are enjoying it and you're really getting what you need out of it, because you do know what you need to do. So I think that you need to trust yourself, listen to your gut, but then also who's along with you on their journey, or on your journey, on your adventure that's coming up. Listen to them too. Trust them as well. They are there. They are ready for this as well. They are there to help and guide you and show you along the way. Experience this together. But yeah, I definitely think that you're ready for this. I think that you need this. I think during and after you're gonna be like, wow, yes, I needed that. Oh my gosh, okay. Whew. That's kind of the message that I'm getting with these cards. But yeah, let's pull some oracle cards and get some more details on this big adventure for you. All right, so if you chose a group one, or the ring with the pearl, then this reading is yours. So let's see what tarot cards we have. So for group one, you have Page of Rings, or Page of Pentacles. You have a Nine of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Two of Swords. Okay, so for your upcoming journey, I definitely see that you're ready for this adventure now, that this isn't something too far off into the future. I think that now is a time, I do think you might be feeling a little depleted at the moment, potentially needing this adventure almost, if that makes sense. Like, I think almost like a tank of gas, and you're running close to E. So now's the time where you're like, all right, like this needs to happen. I'm excited for this next adventure that's coming your way. And I do think that it's going to bring happiness. It's going to refill that tank. And I think that more than anything, yeah, I think that this trip is going to be focused on just being happy, bringing back some joy, doing something that you either maybe haven't done before, or you haven't traveled to this area, or gone on this journey yet, but it's something that you've been looking forward to, or something that along the way you're like, oh yeah, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. That's the saying for you that I'm getting from this. And I do think that you're going to have someone along with you. Maybe on your adventure you have a guide, whether it is someone who, like a local from a place that you go to visit, that is there to give you some suggestions on things to do, or someone, maybe a literal tour guide that you have that really helps you along this journey. Potentially you have just another person with you that brings along good advice. Because I do think too with this, and it could be maybe along the journey you feel a little unsure, or even taking this adventure yourself to start, you might be feeling a little like, well, I have, maybe it's two thoughts, or just kind of, I'm getting almost being, knowing what you need to do, but still doubting yourself. And so I do think that maybe that's where this Queen of Cups energy is also coming in that potentially you'll have someone there along with you to guide you into this journey, along with this journey, and make sure that you are enjoying it and you're really getting what you need out of it, because you do know what you need to do. So I think that you need to trust yourself, listen to your gut, but then also who's along with you on their journey or on your adventure that's coming up, listen to them too. Trust them as well. They are there. They are ready for this as well. They are there to help and guide you and show you along the way, experience this together. But yeah, I definitely think that you're ready for this. I think that you need this. I think during and after you're gonna be like, wow, yes, I needed that. Oh my gosh, okay. Whew. That's kind of the message that I'm getting with these cards. But yeah, let's pull some oracle cards and see, get some more details on this big adventure for you. So the first oracle card that we're going to use is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. And let's see some more on group one's next journey, next adventure, like this one. So you have the unknown is your friend. Lean in to embrace what's next. I like that. I also love the artwork on all of these cards. I'm going to move these up a little bit. And then let's do the Mystical Journey Oracle. All right, for group one's next adventure. Group one's journey. So you have Sanctuary, and then this one also wants to come up too, and Being Bound. All right, and then let's see. This is, oh gosh, I forget the name of this deck, but it's one of my fairy decks. Let's see what this journey will bring for you. For group one, healing. The healing body thrives with a constant flow of balanced energy. So it'll help if I have this up here. It also kind of gives me Three of Cups energy, maybe just because there's the three women pictured here, but definitely think that this will be something you do with others, whether that is, someone or someone you meet along the way, people you bring with you. But I do think that this journey is going to have other people with you. And it's going to bring about healing. Yeah, I'm getting that whole like, wow, I needed this. Maybe you don't even know how much you needed it. You don't even realize that like you're running on empty right now. And yeah, I mean, with Being Bound too, I do want to read on that one. But okay, also really funny. You have 24, 25, and 26. If that means anything, maybe they're dates, maybe it means nothing, but very interesting nonetheless. But yeah, really with the unknown is your friend. I think this is going to be something you haven't done before, or maybe experiencing it in a different way than something you've tried this in the past, but you're doing, a different route or different activities. But definitely, I think that you will kind of be stepping away from the familiar. And then I do think that this card can also talk about like to turn within, really connecting with what you want. And I do think too, this card, another meaning for this card can talking about like taking only what you need with you. And so I do think that kind of getting this tying in with the Sanctuary card. I'm also getting like autumn vibes with this card. I don't know if maybe you're planning this trip in autumn, or maybe you're going somewhere where it's like this color scheme. But yeah, definitely getting an autumn vibe. And actually, I wanted to read on this card just because this deck does include actions with everything. So for the Sanctuary card, the action with this says, a beautiful stroll in nature can help you to reset. Love that. To breathe and just be. Know that you are always loved and protected, and that you can always trust yourself to defend your precious time and energy. So there could be a feeling of maybe being a little unsure on, how do I want to put this, on having the time. I'm trying to say like the protected time. I feel like for so many people, taking a vacation feels like, oh my gosh, I'm stepping away from, work or, other activities, family, friends, whatever it may be. And can sometimes feel a little, like it's tough for people to take that time, right? So I do think that this card is saying like, hey, everything will be fine at home. Everything's going to be great. Take your, like, go and do this. Know that you're safe. Know that, you're always going to be loved and protected, and trust in yourself as well. And then also for being bound, right before that, easy. Let's see. I do want to read on this one too. It says, what are you bound by? Negative thinking, inhibitions, or criticisms of others? It's time to break free. The being bound card reminds you to trust your inner voice. So a lot about trusting yourself with these cards, but it says the voice that wants you to let go of your inhibitions and try new things. And I really like that with the unknown is your friend card as well. It says the things you will not attempt through fear or judgment. You must live your life to the full and allow others to live their own lives. And then for the action, let's see, it says be daring and allow yourself to try something new. So yeah, definitely getting trying something new on this journey. It says free the chains of your self-imposed cage. Learn to open your heart and be more playful. So yeah, I definitely think that on this journey, you are going to be doing something new. It's something that is going to kind of reset, that is going to give you some of that healing that you're needing. And I do see it being with other people, whether that's just one person or a group of people, maybe a group of friends, people you meet along the way on this adventure. I do want to get two more quick cards, and then we'll do some charms for this as well. So this is just the Learn to Be a Wildflower deck. Really nice, cute messages. We'll see a little bit more on your journey, your next adventure. B1 wanted to pop out. So yeah, even with the bee imagery, I'm getting that maybe it's you've been a little busy, a little worker bee, right? And now's the time where you get to rest. It says, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. So yeah, definitely a lot about this journey and this trip bringing some healing to you. And then lastly, I do want to get, this is the Cards of Time deck. Figure this could just be fun to see for group one, a message on this trip, the time, when it'll be, how long it'll be, just important dates. All right. Important time for group one's adventure. This one. Saturday. Okay. So something important. Search for joy. Stay agile. Something important on Saturday. This is also card 7 in this deck. So potentially 7 being like the 7th, or 7 days, 7 weeks, and 7 months. But yeah, an important date, Saturday. Let's go ahead, get some charms. But yeah, I definitely think that whatever this journey is, and I feel like sometimes I've been talking about it like it's a vacation, it very well might be for some people. For others, it could be a totally different journey, maybe a change in a career path or some deviation from your current path that you're on, a change that needs to happen that leads you into this next adventure. But it is going to be something new. And it is, I think, too, having someone there as a guide for you is going to be a big part of this adventure for you, but definitely as well, whatever this is bringing about some form of healing, some of that joy, replenishment to getting like sweet to the soul is like sticking out to me too. But yeah, I definitely think that whatever this next adventure for you is, it is needed. It is going to be welcomed. It is something that you are going to, at the end of it, be like, wow, yeah, needed that. That's what I was looking for. Like, let's do it again. But yeah, something with a Saturday too, which is really cool. So let's get some charms. All right. So for the life of me, I cannot find my normal box for my charms that I like to put them in when I do these, but we're just going to use the Hero's Journey Oracle deck, this box, the lid for it. So let's get some charms on Group 1's journey. All right, and then I will hold this. Let's put another box here just to bring it a little bit closer. Put this on top. There we go. Okay, and I'll show these too. So you have the baseball, the spider, and the spider web with a butterfly in it. You have a claw, a feather. You have bells, Christmas tree cookie, a key, owl, Eiffel Tower, you have an angel, you have the letter number, oh, I was going to say number, you have the letter Q, and also, oh my goodness, love these nails, but they make it impossible to pick things up sometimes. There we go, and a smiley face. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. So yeah, definitely, I mean, a few first things that are popping out, and things I love with charms is that they can, I mean, what I'm picking up on, someone else could be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually having a trip going to see the Eiffel Tower, or whatever it may be. You could always pick up whatever resonates with you. With the charms is always something fun, because for some people it could be like, I know exactly, that's for me. Like, I know what this message is that it's coming out of here. First thing I see right off the bat is with this claw, I'm getting a lot of that like hard work leading to the reward. So I think that you have been, especially with like your B card, I think a lot of this of putting in the work, and now you're being able to have this journey, right? Like, you've put in this work, so you are able to enjoy this adventure. Whether that is the planning that maybe you've been putting into, the hard work to be able to take time off or to switch paths to start on this journey, this new adventure, you've gotten yourself here. I also, with the owl, I do get of like that wise old owl, almost like, there we go, like a guide along the way. And I do think that this person is going to bring about some wisdom, some advice, definitely something I think you should listen to. Feather, I'm getting just kind of go with the flow. You've had that mentioned a few times in your cards. Maybe I just stopped trying to pick these things up. I'll just lift it all up higher. But yeah, I think just go with the flow, being a little bit more breezy about things than potentially maybe you normally are. Something comes up, maybe a hiccup along the way, kind of just being okay with it and being like, all right, yeah, like that's fine. We'll switch it up. I'll do this instead. Or, uh, just, yeah, going with the flow is what I'm getting from that. The key I always think of as like a solution to a problem. I like that you have the spider and the spider web with something in its trap. So I definitely think that, especially with these charms together, almost that this, like, right, spiders take time, they set their web up, and they wait for their prey. So I do think that this is something, again, that you've been working for, waiting for. I'm just a lot of this as you've been putting in this work, and you are now finally going to get this bug that's landed in your net, and enjoy your rewards. And definitely, I get that you are the spider in this situation. Don't worry, that's the vibe I'm getting from this. Um, Along with that, I think with the bells, I also get this. Oops. For celebration. So potentially this new adventure could be a celebration of sorts, maybe some announcement either happens while you're there or while you're along with this journey, you get some news, you create some news even. Definitely some type of, I always think of this as like a joyous announcement that's coming along. Christmas tree cookie, I get just enjoying little things. Oops. Enjoying activities that this could be something as simple as going back to things that make you happy that maybe you haven't done since you were a child, or activities that you've forgotten about or you haven't had time for. But I definitely think this adventure is going to bring along some of those activities, for lack of a better word, that you possibly haven't done in a long time. With this baseball charm, I always think of this as of I think of like a America's pastime, right? That's kind of like the saying that pops up here. So again, maybe this is just as simple as for someone that this is going to be going to a baseball game with someone that turns into this, maybe go on a road trip to go to. I had a friend who went to like every hockey stadium and, potentially something like that. But I definitely think that this is bringing about kind of along with the cookie card of a pastime, something that you've enjoyed or maybe others have enjoyed that is coming about to you during this adventure that either you haven't experienced before or you've forgotten about it, and you're getting to experience it again almost like the first time, or someone else bringing about something that brings them joy and they get to pass that along to you. And then you have the Eiffel Tower. So again, like I mentioned, for someone maybe this is you're going to see the Eiffel Tower. It could be travel for some of you. I think this could also just be, I like to think of like a bucket list item too, almost of, to some people, like seeing the Eiffel Tower is on their bucket list. So for some of you, it could be that you're checking something off on your bucket list during this trip. I keep saying trip, adventure. You have Q, so potentially something with a Q. Maybe you are going on a trip with someone with a Q. Your journey will involve a Q activity. Sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. And then, whoops, okay. I said I wasn't going to pick these up, and then I start doing it again. And then you have the angel. To me, this goes back to that card, what's your sanctuary card, of knowing that you're loved and knowing that you're protected. Your time's protected. This trip, this journey, this adventure, whatever this next step is for you, that you are protected on it. And then lastly, you just have the smiley face. Honestly, all I'm getting from this is that it is joyous. It is going to bring happiness. I definitely feel like with this Queen of Cups energy of just whatever this is, it is going to bring back that joy, that happiness, replenish yourself. Just put a smile on your face. But yeah, I'll hold this up a little. If you wanted to see them a little bit closer. I know it was kind of hard for me to pick them all up. Sorry. But yeah, I definitely think that this trip's going to be really fun. I think you're ready for it. You need it. Let me know if any of the charms resonated with you and you got something different from them. But it should be a very nice adventure for you. Enjoy the journey. We'll see you next time. So if you chose group 2 or this ring, then this reading is yours. Let's get some information on your upcoming journey. So you have King of Wands, my man Treebeard. You have the Moon, Queen of Rings or Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, And Nine of Wands. Second group to get this one. Someone watch both groups? If so, maybe pay attention to this card. But yeah, so I definitely think on this journey you will be taking taking charge of this, almost taking control of this adventure. And I think it's because you're really determined for this journey of yours to happen. I think I'm also getting patience playing into this adventure. Make sure you're patient, because I do think that there's going to be some challenges that come up, and almost something potentially not being what it seems. You have the moon here. But along with that, I almost get, and if you know Lord of the Rings, and if you're one of those people who like really know Lord of the Rings, I'm so sorry if you're like, actually, that's not what happened in the books, or she actually did this, or I'm so sorry. I might be getting this kind of wrong. But with this card, this is from, the scene in Lord of the Rings where Galadriel shows Frodo things that can happen if he fails in his journey. And so I'm almost getting for you that on your adventure, you almost have these things that, and kind of where I'm getting this like, be patient, because I think you're potentially going about this journey, or some things may come up that makes it almost seem, oh, well, if I do this, then I can't do this. Or if this happens, then this can't happen. Or kind of limiting yourself almost, where it would be better, I think, for you to go a little bit more with the flow, because I do think while you're really taking charge and really determined for these things to happen, I think that potentially it could be a little bit too controlling of this journey. But I definitely think that you're ready for this journey. Whatever this is, you're going to pursue it. You're definitely going to make the most of it. You have the Queen of Pentacles here too. So I'm like getting like just embracing it without that fear of kind of not having this worry, and going with this journey and being kind of just like enjoying it, because I do think that this is going to be, it's going to unlock some creativity. I think that I do see there's some, I don't call it necessarily like life changing, because I feel like that's so pressureful, but definitely see this being a trip that is eye opening. It's awakening. Awakening is probably a better word, actually, what I'm getting from this. And I think that's going to be productive too. I think there's going to be a lot of like inner power realized on this trip. Yeah, and I definitely think for some reason too, I'm getting you're doing this with people. This isn't a solo trip or journey. I keep saying trip, journey, adventure. This new path, this new journey that you're going on, I see it being almost with a fellowship, right? And I think too, that it might not be necessarily this new journey that you're going on to gain riches, to gain wealth, to get that kind of power in life. I think it's going to be almost more so of like enjoying it with friends, with family, with people like who love you, who enjoy your presence, whether you start this journey off with them or you uncover them along the way. I definitely think that relying on others, kind of turning to, I'm just going to call them your fellowship, because it's fitting with this deck, but turning to that fellowship for support so that you can see things through, so that you can, keep that determination, have this experience, that awakening during this journey. But I definitely think that you are going to be going through this journey with others who care about you. And I think that you just need to make sure that you're being open to get help along the way. And yeah, definitely having that awakening, kind of that leading to your happily ever after, kind of go along with that uh, journey feeling, I guess we'll call it. But yeah, I definitely see this leading to that fulfillment. I think having that awakening on your trip, being sure not to be too focused on potential challenges or being too determined to have like things totally planned out. and being a little bit more open to maybe having some say from others, having to rely potentially on others for certain things if you're not used to that, or if along the way you have some hiccups or some things that maybe don't go according to your plans, being able to adjust and to kind of let go some of that, we'll say, determination of having things on this journey going exactly how you want it, and being a little bit more open to things, a little bit more, yeah, I'm kind of just getting like almost to, along with that like inner power, I'm still seeing it being a very productive trip, but I do think that there is going to be some changes during your journey. So you might be thinking things are going one way, or you know exactly like, oh, this is how it's going to go. It's not going to. There are going to be some changes, but overall, it is going to be very, very fulfilling, very productive, is going to lead to a really solid group of people, whether it is, again, people you bring with you or people that you meet along the way on this journey, kind of leading to that happily ever after. But let's get some oracle cards, get some more information on what this journey looks like. Yeah, and then we'll get some charms. So I went ahead and I just moved these cards up so we could have some room for your oracle cards. So we'll start off with the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. Go ahead and get a card for Group Two's Journey. Ooh. All right, you're getting a lot of cards today, but we're just going to take them all because they flew out. So you have Knights of the Round Table. Let their love lift you higher. Already getting that just fellowship, right? Knights of that round table, that group that goes with you on that journey and relying on them to carry through on this adventure. You also have me time. Enjoy your own company. I like that too, because even though I see this happening with other people, I think it's really important. And there's so many people that will go on, we'll say, vacations, life, changing paths and journeys of their own that I know that will go with other groups of people, and they're like, oh, well, actually, like, it felt way too centered around other people sometimes to really fully get what I wanted out of this. So I think it is important to still make sure that you are taking time out on this journey for yourself, making sure you're still doing things that you want to do. Again, I know I said like don't be too controlling on these things, but I think that there's that really nice balance of being able to go on a journey with others, but still also make sure that you are focused on yourself. And then again, like I said, enjoy your own company. If you're left alone and you're like, hey, I want to go do this, go take a walk in nature by myself, for today, or whatever it may be, or you go journal alongside the beach, whatever, whatever this may be. Uh, I definitely think that this is going to bring about some good me time, and also I think that is going to lead to some of that like inner power that gets realized on this adventure. Then you also have In the Castle of Dreams, become altered by the color of your dreams. Definitely want to read on that one. Castle of Dreams. Oh, I love this deck too. Let's go ahead. Let's see. All right. So with this, it does talk about, so it says, talks about when you forget your dreams, which is natural, the realm ends there. Like your dreams, everything ends there. If you awaken too fast, then the drawbridge rises before you have any trace of the dream, gets carried with you, and your actions throughout the day will make logical, rational sense. Sometimes even it says like robotic. And then it says, however, when you remember even a hint of the dream, the drawbridge remains down, and your actions, state of being, and your day are colored by the extraordinary dreaming mind. When the drawbridge is down, quantum leaps takes place, awakening happens, and miracles become commonplace. The trick lies in retaining and integrating the wisdom of the dream into your waking life. The mantra is, I use my entire palette and paint with broad strokes as I participate vividly in life. I definitely think this just kind of talks about making sure that you're not going about things too robotically, and still having a little bit of that, right, that creativity that's going to be coming into play here. And making sure that you bring that into this journey, that it's not too pre-planned, too drawn out, too like this is how it's going to be. Bring your dreams into it, right? Bring your inspirations, bring that creativity into this, and implement it on this journey, on this trip. But yeah, let's go ahead and get some more. Let's do next. Let's get the Mystical Journey Oracle. Oh, you are getting so many cards. Oh, I love that. You have self-care. I love that with your me time card. I think that's really nice. We're just going to kind of put it here. You're going to have a lot of cards on this. I'm so sorry. And then you also have Divine Gateway. I really like that in the Castle of Dreams as well, of kind of keeping that gateway, that drawbridge, as this card talked about, down so that you can have that connection, right? So you can have this like inner awakening, that drawing from your divine self and implementing that in your life. I really like how this is kind of blended in. You can kind of see it almost as like, God, I like it. It's just like blended into nature, into the trees. You're kind of just combining the two of that creativity, that passion, your, subconscious mind into your day-to-day life, into this journey, and incorporating the two things, kind of blending them together. Let's also do this one next. I think these are message of what will you gain from this journey. Serenity. Embrace serenity's refreshingly peaceful energy vibration. So yeah, I definitely think that there will be some serenity on this trip. You are going to get from this trip some serenity, which is always a really nice thing to really love. I feel like you can kind of just feel like peace of mind almost is what I'm getting from that card as well. Let's also do, I think this deck, it's called How to Be a Wildflower Deck. I think they're just really cute, fun messages. Let's just want one. Group 2's journey. Wow, this deck wants to give you a ton of messages. Either that, I'm just bad at shuffling. Group 2's journey. Next adventure. I'll take this one. Never stop wondering. The boots with the flowers. I'm going to put this, let's put it here. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and we'll use the cards of time, get a message on, oh, there we go. So you have Scorpio, you have Heal the Wounds, 8 weeks, 8 months. So potentially this trip is going to happen in 8 weeks or 8 months. Maybe this journey lasts, I keep saying trip, this journey lasts for 8 weeks or lasts for 8 months. Either maybe you're Scorpio, someone of interest on this trip is a Scorpio. It's over here. But yeah, very exciting. These cards back. I also like that it talks about healing the wounds. Put it over there. Yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a very nice trip. I think you are going to have some really nice adventures along this trip with some really amazing people. There's going to be some really nice things for you, some healing, some serenity brought about, really nice self-care time on this trip. Definitely see a connection between like your dreams, your passion, your subconscious, kind of tying into this journey, bringing it more to the forefront. I think there's definitely going to be some creativity discovered. Again, that like inner power within yourself. And definitely, that you are ready for this. whatever this journey is, whether it's now you're starting to plan for it, you're starting to, get ready for it, or you're going to literally walk out the door tomorrow and be like, all right, let's go on this adventure. You're going to wake up the next day and be like, yeah, I'm going with you. You're going to take charge. You're kind of determined for this, really. This new adventure that you're going on, you're really determined to make it happen. You're going to take control of this journey for you, and pursue it. Really make the most out of it. Have it be really productive. But again, just remember to turn to your fellowship when you need them. Those Knights of the Round Table are there for you. Take advantage of them, trust them, use their guidance, enjoy it. Bring in that love, be that person too for others within your trip. But yeah, it's going to be a really nice journey for you. Some really nice things being discovered too. I also like having the moon there with your moon card. But yeah, let's get some charms. I was telling this to group one. I don't know where my charm box is. I normally, or a container that I like to put my charms on when I pull them out. So we're just going to use the Hero's Journey box and kind of elevate it. We'll make it do. So let's get some charms on your journey ahead. Group 2. Okay. And again, with charms, always see what resonates with you. I feel like everyone kind of picks up different things. So you have the strength, and I'll lift these all up too so we can get a better view. You have the crab, butterfly, you have 2 hearts, 1 with wings, and a bird, I think that is, circle of stars. Okay. All right, so you have the strength card here. So with this, I'm getting that both you are ready for this journey, but also that you are coming into your own strength, your own power on this trip. And I do think too with this, so group 1 had a similar, they had another crab, could be a Cancer energy, but also they had like the claws themselves. With this, I'm getting almost that you are, I want to say, like, you have this hard outer layer, this protective mechanisms in place so that when you do come across obstacles, you're prepared for them, right? Along with that strength card, I think that there's a lot of being prepared for hard times. But I do also think that potentially it could be maybe you've built up some hard outer layers. Lift this up a little bit. You also have the butterfly here. I also think this is just a really nice transformation on this journey happening. A lot of flourishing, a lot of coming into your own, coming into really like who you're truly meant to be. You have love on this trip. I think either potentially maybe you find love, you start this trip off with people you love, you find it along the way, whether that's with others, within yourself. I think that there's just going to be a lot of, and I think too, having almost, I said it was a bird, and that's what I kept thinking of it. I think it's actually like a face with hair on it, but we're going to take this as a bird because that's how I originally was looking at it. And I think to me, what I'm getting from that is that you're going to have messages of love to come along on this trip. Again, whether that is from other people, you're giving those to other people, or maybe you're giving it to yourself. You have a lot of like self-care. What's the other card? Me time. So I think it could be too a lot of potentially like you are having this messages of love, of healing, of kindness that you could potentially be giving to yourself as well, but also maybe to others. You have this horse, it's actually a unicorn. But I just take this as momentum. I think that there is movement. I think that, again, like I said, this is going to be very productive. I think it could happen potentially quickly. And with this trim, this really does remind me actually of, oh my goodness, these nails. Great, except on flat surfaces. All right, well, I'll just hold this up here. So you have this almost inward spiral of stars. So I think there's going to be a lot of self-reflecting. I also have, I think this ties really nicely into that whole like castle of dreams. And your divine gateway card too. Of having these things, these wands. Just really, I think this is a nice tie-in to having that night, I'm gonna say like nighttime dreaming into the living day. I don't know if that sentence makes sense to anyone, but that's how it came out of my mouth, and that's what we're gonna take it as. um, yeah, let me know if you see anything else. Oh, and then with the tree too. This just ties really nicely into kind of that Ten of Cups vibe of having that solid foundation of this like really abundant and happy, getting like branches off of yourself, having this solid support system around you, having those roots, that like nice solid foundation into the earth, into the leaves here too. Um, yeah, almost like having leaves on a tree, right? It's like where you have like a family tree and you put different leaves to represent different people. But whether it's family or not, I think you're going to have a lot of different leaves, different branches on this trip that are going to be there to support you, but also they're going to be just different um, branches. We'll say it's kind of what's coming, like your trip's going to branch off into different aspects. Is kind of the message that I'm getting to right now. That this could be, again, a trip that you might think is going one way, but it's going to branch off and turn into different things. But again, it has that very sturdy foundation. So I wouldn't worry too much on that when things do come up, because you are ready for this. Bring this up a little closer too. Let me know if you see anything in here. You're like, oh yes, I know exactly what that, circle of stars represents to me, and what that message is that, is coming across. Should be a really nice journey for you up ahead. Really excited. I hope you enjoyed these messages. Enjoy your adventure, and until next time. So if you chose group 3 or this ring, then this reading is yours. So let's see what your upcoming journey looks like. So you have 6 of Cups, you have the Chariot, Samwise energy, Page of Swords, some Pippin energy, and Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Okay, interesting. So for some of you, I think you're agreeing to this adventure, to this journey, before you realize what it is fully. There's definitely some change happening when you have Chariot, Wheel of Fortune. And also, too, I mean, just think with Pippin, kind of that phrase of where he bursts into the meeting where they're discussing like who's going to carry the ring, and then he's like, yeah, you need these sort of people. He's like, where are we going? Like, that's kind of the energy almost of like, yeah, I'm with you too, what are we doing? So for some of you, I think maybe you agreed to this either maybe before you fully thought it out or knew what it is what you were agreeing to, what this next step, this journey was. Could also be some like someone from your past, maybe, or some getting for maybe even just one of you. It could be that there was some type of like agreement when you were kids of like, yeah, we're gonna do this when we get older, and now it's like, oh, now we're older and we're trying to plan this out, this trip, this journey, this adventure that you have maybe with some childhood friends or someone from your past, and you're like, wow, I didn't realize everything that I agreed to. But yeah, I definitely think that there is some change approaching, that there is going to be, I mean, really, I do think that you will be moving forward on this next journey of yours, but you're going to be confident about it. I mean, you have, I feel like with any time Samwise pops up, I'm like, oh, you'll be fine on the journey, right? Like Sam's with you. Or if you're Sam, amazing. You're the one who's going to carry everyone to the end. So definitely think whatever this journey is, you will be moving forward regardless of what obstacles come up, whatever, is happening. You're I'm interested. All the other two groups, I was like, for sure, you're with other people. This is the first time I'm kind of like, maybe this is a solo journey, or like with one other person. I don't. Well, maybe I'll pull. We'll see what the other cards have to say too. But I definitely think that there's some nostalgic aspect to it. I think that potentially maybe, whether it was because you thought of doing this as a kid, or you had it on your bucket list for a while, or something that you've heard of for a while, that you're like, I've been wanting to go explore this, or to switch into this this path, and do this because it's been on my mind for a while, or it sounds so nostalgic, it sounds like something I really want to go explore. I do think that there's going to be a lot of little kindnesses that are happening along the path and along your journey, whether it is you to others or others onto you, or both. And I think there's going to be some connection to the past, whether that is from the start and the cause of this journey, or whether that is discovered along the way. I think in some way, shape, or form, you are going to have a connection to the past, whether that is your childhood, or, you know, uh, meaning for someone, it could be even potentially like going on I feel like with like your DNA, and like, I want to go and like discover, what's the word I'm looking for? Go visit places where your ancestors are from. We'll just keep it at that. But definitely, I think that whatever you're ending up doing on this journey, that your heart's in it. I think that your heart's in the right place, whether or not you might be fully prepared for this, or fully aware of what this journey is actually going to end up bringing at the end of the day. You are here, you're in it, you're strong, you're going to complete this. You're really, I get to kind of this, like with like Six of Cups and Page of Swords energy, but kind of this like playful energy, this lighthearted, inquisitive along the way. So like asking questions on this journey, learning, discovering things. But yeah, change is definitely coming. Whether or not that's the start of what pushes you onto this journey, or during your journey you discover there's a bunch of big changes coming your way, decisions that you're going to have to make, potentially like some paths that you're going to have to decide. You're ready for whatever it is. I think just be adaptable. But yeah, I definitely think that this is going to be a really, really lighthearted, nostalgic, I'm getting kind of that playful vibes of exploring and having some big changes along the way, whether or not you might realize it at the time, but really shaping, I feel like, this journey. And just, oh man, I feel like being a mix between like Sam and Pippin energy here, of having that strength to finish this journey, but still enjoying it, enjoying the little things, enjoying that like playful lightheartedness that comes along in journeys that some other people might miss if they're too serious. You're going to have that really nice combination of Sam and Pippin energy, of being able to make decisions when you need to, and decide whether or not, like, you know I'm just going to try to do Lord of the Rings references, but then I was forgetting names, and now I'm too scared of like internet people being, actually the spider's name was this. But but yeah, I think that it's going to be a really fun trip with some really serious changes happening. But again, I don't think it's going to be something that like ties you down. I think you're going to just roll with the punches. I think you're going to be able to adapt to these things really easily along this adventure. And you're going to have a lot of, I'm getting like small acts of kindness along the way that's present throughout this whole journey. So let's get some other cards because I'm really curious about this. The other ones I felt really clear about, like, was this a journey you're taking with like a bunch of other people? Is this adventure, I'm curious if this is by yourself or if you're going to be, having people on your side, whether that's from the start or you're, who you're gaining this with. Maybe it's a mix of both. I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune here too, I'm kind of getting like this could be maybe starting off with people and then all of a sudden, your journey just leads you on your own into your own path or vice versa. But kind of this like mix of like we start off here, then like I go off on my own to go discover this one thing, and then I venture back to this group that I know, and then I go meet a new group and I try something new and brings me yeah, well, I want to get some cards before I just start like spitballing in my brain and what I'm getting. But yeah, let's get some more oracle cards and see just some more details on this adventure of yours. All right, so I'm going to move these cards up to create some more space. And then we'll go ahead, we'll use the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. Get a message on your adventure. Okay. North Star. Flip your inner light switch. Mystical Journey Oracle next. Group 3's next adventure. Also, I love anything that has like gilded edges. Just want one or two. For group 3. All right, we'll take these. You have manifestation, the path. I like that with the Chariot card too. And breaking free. Right, so I'll start off with your North card star. I really think this does talk about, I kind of get that as like the when you're in doubt, follow the North Star, right? So when you're in doubt, follow that inner self. And this card talks about like what would your best higher self do in a situation. So I think potentially if you do come across situations where you're a little unsure on this journey, take a second, pause, it's okay, and think, what would the best outcome be? What would my, best self, my best version do? What, the outcome that I want, what would I do in that situation to get there? And I think this just kind of talks about too, like going about this, like traveling your journey with this confidence, with this joy, with your enthusiasm, kind of knowing that like with this guiding North Star, you'll find your way. Flip your inner light switch, right? So like trust yourself and you'll find the way. You also have manifestation. And I do want to read on these cards because they do have really nice like actions that are also included in the deck. So I'll just quickly read on these. Let's see. So for manifestation, let's see. This card says, we are all creative beings and we all have the power to manifest beauty in this world. By doing this, we heal ourselves and others simply through the act of creation. When you share your gifts with others, you make it easier for them to shine their light and share their talents as well. I like that too, of doing acts of kindness, and talks about like sharing your creativity, sharing your gifts with others so that they can in turn do that. Kind of like that of like others give kindness, pass along, and so on and so forth, and kind of creating the cycle of like a positive flow, right? It talks about says you always have felt a gentle pull towards creating something bigger than yourself, and it's time to make that feeling conscious. You can start this journey right now. Visualize your ideal life. What would you be wearing, and what are you eating, discussing, or participating in it? Visualize where you want to be in 5 years' time. What actions can you take to manifest that vision? Imagine your mind is magnetically charged. As your thoughts flow, they are charged positively or negatively, depending on the nature of each thought. If you focus consistently on an optimistic future, your thoughts and actions will begin to align. And I kind of like that too, of like thinking of like how would I, following that North Star, your inner voice, right? Like flipping that switch, your inner switch, following that and kind of having this positive mindset of like, how would I get here and what steps do I need to take? And then kind of projecting that into yourself. But the action here says start planning your 5 year dream with a vision board, which is a powerful tool for attracting your desires. Imagine your dream career, income, or house, or even your dream partner. Place the board somewhere you will see it every day as you work. Repeat this mantra: I manifest my creative potential. I let it flow through the world to heal myself and others. And then for the path, again, I know this is probably going to end up taking some time, but I like anything that gives actions within their decks. So for the path, and I really like this too with the Chariot card that you have. This card says there are many different paths that lie ahead of you. Which one will you choose? The path card appears when you have some decision to make and you cannot work out which direction is best for you. As with the Seven of Cups in the Tarot, there are too many choices being offered and you are crippled by indecision. If you look closely, however, both paths in the forest lead through to the same destination and then continue into the unknown. If you knew exactly what to expect, things would be boring and predictable. One of the delights of the earth are that the many joyful surprises that are in store for you along the way. The question you must ask yourself is what experiences you would like as you journey along your life path. Get really clear about what is important to you. Then once you understand this, you can take action. Be courageous and move forward. There will be many mysteries to discover along your journey, all of which will lead to freedom and self-realization. Then the action here, sometimes what's important to you can be buried under layers of self-judgment and busyness. For you to get really clear on what you want to experience in your life, start writing down everything that makes you happy, even if it seems silly or trivial, such as the daily availability of your favorite food or drink. These small experiences can easily be overlooked, although they add such richness to your life and can help you in your decision-making process. Put that there. And then for breaking free, and I'll kind of just summarize this too, and then we'll touch base on the action. I really think for this card too, I think it talks about really just believing in like the most optimistic outcomes and actively choosing this like positive self-talk of breaking yourself out of potentially like cycles and rhythms that you might have already, and creating this like establishing this kind of too with like all your cards tying in of believing in the best possible outcome and following that. I think that ties back to your North Star card too, of when you are doubting yourself, because you will have some choices along the way, definitely a couple different paths for you to pick, and you might doubt yourself. But I think at the end of the day, as long as you remember on this journey, like where is it that I want to get? How would I get here? What's the best possible outcome? Let me imagine that. Focus on that. Know that you can make it happen. And then for the action card for breaking free, it says your mind can be trained just like a muscle. If you find yourself taking a deep dive into the worst case scenario, stop and focus instead on what you want to happen, the best possible outcome, and notice how this lifts your mood. So I will get a couple more oracle cards. Let's go ahead and get this one. Okay, so let's see what you're going to get out of your journey. What will group 3 get out of their journey? Opportunity. When your eyes are wide or open wide, opportunities you never thought possible will manifest. I love that. So from this journey, you will create new opportunities, ones that potentially you haven't even thought of. And I like that too with going into this potentially of not even knowing exactly where it's going to lead you or what is all included or word I'm looking for, of everything that it is going to take to get through this journey, but it is going to lead to new opportunity for you. That's there. Then let's use this How to Be a Wildflower Deck. Cute little fun messages. Oop, just want one from this deck for group 3 on their journey ahead. Oh my goodness, so many cards. Okay. Okay, we'll take this one because there is a lot, but this one was at the top. So you have the blue jay here, and it says, bring a bit of joy wherever you go. I really like that with your Page of Swords, your Pippin energy, of making sure wherever this journey takes you, whatever adventure this is, that you bring that joy, you bring that optimism, you bring that kind of carefree energy with you in all situations. I love that. And then lastly, before we do some charms, let's just use my Cards of Time Oracle and get a message on the time. So you have Aries. Employ pioneering spirit. You have 1 week, 1 month. So maybe this trip is going to happen in a week or a month, or it is going to last you a week or a month. Could be that you're an Aries, or maybe someone in this journey of importance will be an Aries. But yeah, number 1, an Aries will be important on this journey. I'll just put it right in the middle. Boom. I guess we'll just leave it there for now. We're about to get some charms. But yeah, let's go ahead, get some charms. But I definitely think that this is going to be a really, what I'm getting from this, and I think there's going to be some stages to this. I think that there are going to be a lot of different options and choices for you along the way. Some being pretty drastic and different. However, I think that you're going to handle it very well. I think that you are going to be able to adapt. I think that you are going to bring about that like kind, lighthearted energy into your journey, that if something happens and changes or maybe even goes wrong, you're like, oh, well, we're here now. Like, let's make the best of this. I think that you will be able to, again, I kind of get like when your back's against the wall, potentially bring about that energy of like, I'm here, this is happening, so how can I make the best of it? Bring that joy wherever you go. It is, of course, going to lead to some new opportunities. Oh, I also love here, I just noticed too, it says, opportunities you never thought possible will manifest. And you have manifestation here. So, love that. But yeah, I think that overall this trip may have some serious paths for you, some serious changes, but you might not even realize the seriousness or like the implications that they have until afterwards. And you're like, oh my gosh, like if I had known it was that serious, I wouldn't have acted that way. But of course, it's passed you by and you kind of brought that joyfulness into it, that it helped you progress, it helped you get to that end of this new journey that you're on, and brought about new opportunities and possibilities and joys. And you know what, honestly, for this group, I see that sometimes it's a solo journey. I think that sometimes you're by, like, this trip in itself, what I'm getting for some people in group 3 is that this is a journey you're taking by yourself. That doesn't mean that you're always going to be by yourself. It could be that you walk down one path and you're with a group of people then, and then you're like, all right, well, now my path's bringing me back this way. So then again, you're like focusing in and doing things by yourself. And then, of course, like a new path opens up or a choice that you have to make, and you could be with a new group of people or the same group of people and back together. And but at the end of the day, I think this is something that you're doing by yourself. Like at the very end of the day, when you lie down, you're like, this is my journey and my journey alone, whether or not you started it with someone or you agreed to do this because of someone else. You've kind of taken this on and have determined, all right, this is for me. And I'm going to be the one, that determines like, do I, like, what path do I go down and how I handle these situations. But very, very interested in hearing from you on if you like know what trip or like adventure journey is coming up, or if you have any thoughts on this, or if down the road you have this journey and you're like, oh my gosh, tell me what it is. I'm really curious about this one, and we'll get some charms. Let's do it. So I've mentioned this in my other groups, but I don't know. I normally have a tray that I use for my charms, and I cannot find it. So for now, we're just going to use the box for my Hero's Journey Oracle, and let's get some charms. For some more details on Group 3's journey coming up. All right, so you have the other Group 1, I think, got this one too. My cookie Christmas tree. You have my double hearts. Oh, you have Aries. Don't you have also Aries there? Interesting. Okay. I might cut this out as I flip them all over. These nails are, I love them. They're beautiful. Man, they take forever to flip things. Tiny, off smooth surfaces. I'll flip it over and I'll show you. All right, there we are. So I'll zoom up a little bit on these. I'll try to, I normally lift them up, but again, with nails, it's just sometimes too hard. So you also have talked about this. Group 1 also had the, call it my Christmas tree cookie charm. And with this card or charm card, this charm talks about, I like that too with like your nostalgic messages that I was getting earlier, kind of potentially doing activities or things that you did maybe as a child or that brought you joy back in the day. Small little things that brought you happiness and kind of like that childlike joy could be a big part of this journey and next adventure from you. You also have the double heart, so I think that maybe either you're doing this with a partner or just someone who cares for you a lot, or maybe you find that along the way. You have the rhino here, so I think that definitely talks about like overcoming any obstacles that come up. I think that's a really nice charm to get with your Samwise, that kind of energy of pushing through and persevering through things regardless of what's in your way. You have the Aries charm. You also have Sagittarius. So you have double Aries energy here. And this one, I think it's a boombox or a, think of it like a game controller. First thing that popped up for me was game controller. So it could be potentially that there is some, I'm almost getting this like combination of actions to produce an outcome, if that makes sense. So I always think of like when you do combos in a video game, kind of getting that here of having a combination of things, right? Potentially like maybe a few different paths or a few different things to lead to that outcome, to that new opportunity that you have your way. So I call this my "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego" hat. So I think it could be potentially that maybe you're finding something along the way or discovering things. Again, also could be, I feel like tying back into, I feel like it was man, my memory with that TV show is so vague, even though I guess, I don't know how often I actually watched it now that I think about it. But anyways, I'm getting kind of like that, a bunch of gaming energy with this too. Did they play games in that show? Someone tell me what it was actually about, because now I'm doubting myself. You have the zebra, so this is definitely, I think, a lot about, put down for a second. it's a lot about like determination, having that empowerment, again, seeing things through to the end, momentum from the horse. So I think that when this gets going, it's happening, right? Whether or not you you realize it or you're ready for it, I think that there is that energy of like, all right, like yeah, I'm in. Where are we going? What are we doing? Oh, it's happening. Okay, now, right now. You have the grape, so a bunch of abundance. I think there will be a lot of good things that come from this, right? You have that opportunity from here. There'll be a lot of abundance, a lot of things that you gain from here. Again, you have the coin, also potentially like a pentacles energy. So it could also bring about opportunities, maybe like financially as well for you. Along with the purple flower, you also have here my, I don't know if you can see, I'll try to pick this one up. It's a tree charm. There we are. So I definitely think nature could play a part in your upcoming journey. I'll drop it down. I also think red symbolizing some passion. So maybe either discovering a passion or following that passion. You have the dragonfly, so some opportunity, good fortune your way. You have this heart t-shirt, so I think that there will be some self-love, some yeah, kind of like following your heart, but also listening to your heart with this charm, especially for this group. This pumpkin charm, man, every time I get it, I'm like, up, something different, totally different. This, honestly, I just think about, don't ask me why, but right now I'm picking up this like being goofy and doing so for others' enjoyment. So, like almost making a fool of yourself to make others laugh because you're like, hey, this person needs that right now. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to make myself look like a fool. I'm going to put on this face, right? Like, and just and bring that joy for others, even if I look a little silly doing it. And then lastly, you have this bird on, I believe it's a perch. I like this too because it's not, you're not in a cage on this journey. You are free to leave and return home whenever you want. So if you want to go off and explore this path, go do this activity, go try this new thing, like you're free, like you're able to do so. No one's holding you back. You're not being stopped into this. You're able to freely explore on this new adventure of yours and return home, return when you're ready. It's there, you're safe, it's waiting for you. You have somewhere to return to, when you need to, but otherwise go out and explore. Take advantage of that. Yeah, those were your charms. Let me know if you picked up on anything else. I always love hearing that when I do readings that use charms. People are like, oh, um, this horse, I actually am gonna go on a cross country road trip to go, I don't know, buy a new horse, whatever it may be. I don't, or compete in a horse show. I don't know. I'm trying to think of things. But let me know what you thought. Sounds like a very, very exciting journey coming up for you. So enjoy your adventure. And until next time.